Welcome back to Doc's Off Topic. So today I'm going to be making a tool center height gauge for the south bend. It will also double for the blue project lathe, which is nearing completion. So it's a very simple design. I'll go over that in a moment. And along the way I'll give some information on the mill, what I like and don't like about it now that I've had it for a couple of months, and what I would change and what I'm going to change on it as time and finances permit. So let's get to having a look at the design. It's a very simple design, and we'll get started on making it. Let's have some fun. Okay, so it's a very simple base plate design. So I've got a 60 by 45 by 25 nominal, it's actually a little bit over, piece of aluminium, which I will make the base out of. The post will be 160 millimeters of 01, because I have it. And that's essentially the base. It will include a couple of magnets just to help hold it in place whilst you're adjusting things. But other than that, that's essentially the base. Okay, so the actual gauge is a very simple pointer stylus type, and will be made out of some 4140, because that's what I have. This is 25. It will be turned down to, I'm going to go with 15 millimeters, just to keep it simple and to allow for enough thinness here for the clamping mechanism to actually work. I'll be making two, so once I set one up for the center height for the south bend, and once I'm starting to use the blue project lathe, I'll set one up for that, and then the two will be pretty much locked in place, and that's pretty much it. I think we got the vise absolutely spot on. That needle didn't move at all when I set it up. I'm hoping it hasn't moved at all now, because I've snugged it down a bit more. And what do you know? Has not moved. Okay. Oh, it kicked up just a little. Yeah. Okay. So some of you will have guessed, the model of mill that I've bought is the HM46B DRL optioned from Metal Master. It's got a maximum capacity in steel 32 millimeters depth of cut. The table is 730 by 210 millimeters, so that's around about 2.5 feet by 9 inches. The X travel 480 millimeters, or about 18 inches. Y travel 190 millimeters, or about 7 inches. The Z travel is 420 millimeters, which is probably about the 16-inch mark. The head is a tilting left-right, can do 90 degrees either way. The maximum throat is 265 millimeters, or around about 10 inches. Spindle to table 840 millimeters, so 480 millimeters, with a spindle travel of 120 millimeters. The spindle diameter 75 millimeters. It is a 3 Morse taper, which I've opted for because it's the same tooling as my Hercules Mod Zero. Alright, cameras weren't on, but anyway, edge is found, at least well enough for this part of the project. I used the paper trick. I've set my 0. Now, I have 48.4 millimeters, and I need that down to 45. So I'm going to take 3.5. So it's, no, 1.5. I mean, the actual width isn't that important. Speed is 1650 RPM. Nearest I can get on calculations wise is about 2000 RPM for a 12 millimeter cutter in aluminium. So here we go. Now, I've opted for the 240 volt single phase option simply because I didn't feel like getting an electrician in and running a 3-phase circuit and basically all the humbug that comes with that. Now, the reason for this project is to give myself a little bit of something that tests the capacity of the mill a little bit, and gives me a chance to practice a few basic milling operations, just to see how the mill goes, see what I like, see what I don't like, and now that I've completed the project, I'm going to give a few little things that I think we need to change, and some things that I like. 46.6.7, so right about where we should be. There we go. 1.5, and then we'll take another millimeter on the second time around. Oh, let's go for broke. Let's see how good this machine is. Okay, so what I like is the geared head. It's all metal gearing, so it provides a good speed range. Is it perfect? No, but it does what I need. The head is easy to raise and lower. I would have preferred it to be a knee option, but that was outside of my budget. One thing I do not like is that there is no vertical axis DRO on this machine. So I will be looking into ways to fit a vertical axis DRO. The readout actually has an option for a third axis, so it shouldn't be a big issue to do so. One thing that I'm not enjoying is the depth of cut. So with the mill vise set as it is for this project, deburr it a little bit, flip it over and repeat, and then we'll have our block to size. I have not been able to really access the back edge of the part with anything larger than that 1/2-inch mill, which I found quite frustrating. So realistically, it ends up with the mill vise being mounted quite far out over the handle for the y-axis, which I find a little bit inconvenient. So probably results in the vise having to be mounted along the axis of the table. A simple thing that I kind of wish that the manufacturer had actually included is basically just a scale on the side where you're lifting the head with a pointer to indicate where you are on the axis, just for a rough and ready raise and lower to a given height. It would have made things a little bit easier for this project and for future projects, and it's one of those things that I will be actually fixing. It's a relatively cheap fix. Okay. That surface is beautiful. All right, so It's going to deburr it without taking it out, but first. Those things aside, generally I'm very pleased with the machine. It is pretty solid, takes a good cut. My tooling fits well, there's good repeatability. The DRO remembers where you left it even when you power off the machine, which is really good. One thing I will be adding in the future as finances permits is a X-axis power feed, as I think that would just make things so much easier and give much better results. But that's something for the future. So overall, very happy with the machine. The setup was easy. That said, I did have some issues with the base as purchased. Some holes were tapped imperial with metric screws supplied, and some holes weren't tapped at all, and were clearly for the supplied bolts. So a little bit of finessing had to be done to make it actually work. Good thing I've got a good supply of imperial bolts, and I don't mind tapping some holes. But that was the main hurdle during setup. Otherwise, I'm very happy, and I would highly recommend this machine for somebody setting up a home shop just for small light-duty milling operations. Okay. Okay, and the next one will be at 50, another 20 on that, it's 52. Okay. Now we're going to drill the two end ones. Free drill so we get close. There we go, what the hell's wrong with that? Okay. And then we'll mill them to final depth. Okay. becomes 47. Okay. Well, it gets it started true. I might actually be able to get all the way through, assuming the truck holds. Okay, well, short of chamfer in the back. All right, so that's on center. Now to find the end, so we can move 21 millimeters. Okay, let's drill this. Better. So the way this works is really very simply. Once you have this set to the correct height, and I set it against the tailstock center, you then compare the tip of your tool to the tip of the pointer, and if they align, then you're good to go. Now in this case I'm using the bright light of the sun behind us to see if there's any discrepancy, and it looks like it might just be it is just on, which is just about where you want it, and then you do a trial cut and see how you go. At most I might have to raise it 1/10 of a millimeter at most. And that saves me a hell of a lot of time, and I can put this away, and if I have to use this holder on the other lathe and its height adjustment gets changed, then setting it up again is dead easy. I've got a pointer to go to, I just lower it and bring it up and you're right to go. It takes a few moments. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the making of this little center height gauge for the lathe. And the review of the mill. So that's where I'm leaving off. I hope you've got time to get out to your shop, make something, have some fun, but above all, stay safe, and I'll catch you for the next one.